Hey, what's going on, G people? I was not going to make a video on this because there's more than enough videos on installing a double din, but I've come across kind of a different way of doing this without cutting the center portion of the dash out, which I'm not really a big fan of modifying things like that permanently. So go ahead and stay tuned, and hopefully I'll get this finished up and installed today. Mine is a 98 Jeep, right? And I've already started on it, but I haven't done anything more than remove the stock radio, really. So stay with me, and we'll see how this install goes. All right, so here I have the stock piece. Let's zoom out of it. Perfect. Okay, and this got the stock ashtray. I've already popped the vents out. Those were easy. The flat tip screwdriver, pop them right out. So here's the piece it came with. It comes with this little tray. Almost looks like it might be wide enough to stick an iPhone in there. We'll see. And pop those in as easy as, right, as easy as those come out. Just doubled in. It's a Metra kit. It looks all right. The center part of it's a little bowed, but the plastic's thin. You know, I do not have a show Jeep, so, you know, it's got all the right hardware where it needs it. But we're going to go ahead and get this installed. So I've already removed the stock radio. Actually, I already had a double single din in there before. So I wanted this Apple CarPlay because I want to be able to put some like Onyx off-road maps on it while I drive out in the desert. So, or, you know, wherever we're off-roading. I got this Sony stereo. I actually pulled it out of my daughter's car when she upgraded. It's actually an Apple CarPlay stereo. And this one is a Sony AX1000. And it's got no CD player, which is the advantage here because it's only half as wide as it normally would be, which is perfect for this dash. So here's the brackets. And since I didn't need that part, I cut it out with one of my favorite tools, my battery-operated Milwaukee. You know, it tends to melt the plastic a little bit, but you can get that out however you want, man. Razor blades, files, hacksaws. Hi, Julia. Hold on one sec. So basically, I trimmed that to fit in this opening. Now, the stock manual tells us to cut out this whole center section, right? And really, that's probably not a big deal. Never need it again. But like I said, I'm not a huge fan of permanent modifications. The later Jeeps have this also. I know it's a little thin, thinner than this, but you still have to cut it out. But here's how this is fitting. You see, I cut out the bottom parts of this so that it can slide in on that plastic bracket there before it was hitting that part here. I'm ready right now. Anyway, look at that. Yeah, I'm going to stop this video. It fits right in there perfectly. And without having to cut that out. So get yourself a DVD player like this, radio, I'm sorry, like this without the DVD player. Now I can adjust this forward and back for when I put the face trim on, but this looks like this might work perfect with no cutting. So let's see how the rest of the install goes. The next part of these instructions that are really not that good. I'm showing these to you, you know, if you want to see them, you don't have them, you can put it on pause, right? There's the top part. There's the bottom part. That's it. Here's what the kit contains. So, what else? So it looks like on this step here, we got to grind down some climate control panel locator pins. It's funny because they don't even take you to take it out. Tell you to take it out, but that's what you have to do. Because I'm pretty sure the way this works is instead of the climate control bolting to the dash, it's now going to clip in or bolt to our new cover. So whatever. Not sure how this works, but you can pull it out with a simple Phillips. It does look like it might have something like a 8, maybe guessing 8mm if you want to use the socket. So I'm gonna pull this out and then I'm gonna see what they're talking about as far as what clips to grind off. All right, so here it is. So they're talking about grinding a little locator tab between the screw holes. Must be on a later model. My 98 does not have that. See, there's just open air between the two. Oh yeah, be very careful with this when you pull it out. I just touched that and the darn thing broke. Great. So I might just put a washer behind it, but 3 out of 4 is good enough to hold it. Those still feel pretty good. So basically, if you have a later model, it's supposedly a little locator pin you can ground off there. That's not going to be critical. I'm not too concerned about that. Comes with these, okay, and it's going to mount just like that on either side in the existing screw holes. It's nothing other than a spacer to get it out so that it'll lay even with that, right? And they say to use the existing screws that came with the kit. That's what came with it. So I'll either use the screws or see if my originals still work. So I'll come back when I've got those on. Well, that went on easy enough. I didn't see any reason to use the originals, their screws, so I just put the originals back in. They seem to sit somewhat flush. I'm sure it'll be fine. If not, I'll report back. But it just, you know, fits inside there like that. So that's very easy. Let's see what the next step here is. These really vague instructions. Oh, go back here. Hey! Arr! Unfortunately, my dry shaft is on loan to my brother because he's having a problem with his Tom Woods dry shaft vibrating. I know they got a good reputation. So anyhow, so I've loaned him mine, so I can't go out and drive this, but at least I can sit in it and listen to tunes. All right. So I've secured it. It's on there. What's next? Okay, next we're going to go ahead and put the radio brackets on. I did that. I'm gonna wire up the radio. Oh, looks like I'm done. This is reassembled the dash in reverse order. Okay, so now I'm just gonna wire up my radio, and when we install the radio, one screw is gonna fit here, and I'm gonna have to either drill or just use the screws as a self-tap and go straight through these. So I think the other one's right here-ish, whatever. I'll report back in a few minutes. I'm gonna plug this thing in. All right, well, I wasn't gonna go over the wiring, but I'm here, so why not? My wiring is pretty simple. So I have, this is from the factory. It comes with an adapter harness, but I didn't need it because I already had one. If you don't have one for a more modern stereo, you'll be using the harness that came in a kit. So basically, the yellow is your constant power on, all right? Then you're gonna move over to your blue, and usually has a white stripe. And this is for your amplifier turn on. If you don't have an amp, then you don't need that. I do have an amp because a Jeep with no roof, no doors, sound is like a fart in the wind. It gets carried out and sucked right out without an amplifier. So I have a small amp in here. Obviously, black is for ground. So I know I left some of the old crimps on there, but I wanted to extend the wiring so I can pull the stereo out a little more. Okay, and then your red wire, that's your key on power. So you have your constant and then your key on. And then the only one that's left here is orange. Orange is illumination. In other words, when you turn the headlights on, I believe that gets a little bit dimmer so it matches your headlights. Other than that, I've got an amp, so I'm using ins and outs from the RCA cords, and I'm plugging those in. If you were not running an amp, then you would just go with the speaker color wiring. You know, you've got your whites and your greens, and I don't remember which one goes to which speaker, but that's universal, and you can find that anywhere online, and you would crimp that directly into your speakers. It doesn't hurt to get yourself some good crimpers and wire strippers. Those are wire strippers. I like these crimpers a lot. That works well for the insulated ones. These are heat shrink, so when I put a heat on that, that's going to shrivel up and be watertight. These are really, really good crimpers too, but they tend to put a hole in the heat shrink. They're better for ones like this without the heat shrink, but they'll work either way. So anyway, I'm pretty much wired up here. I've got the antenna in there on the very end. This little guy right here is for the mic for Bluetooth talking. Not that it's very functional in here. I'm gonna get that in, and then I'm gonna screw it into the dash, and I'm gonna see how it all looks. All right, I've just screwed the 3/8 bolt in finger tight. In theory, it should fire up. Thinking about it. Oh, okay, okay. Demo, no, off. Oh, poop. All right, good. So it doesn't hurt to test it before putting it on for a final usage. And also the next thing I'm about to do is take that and fit it, because this radio might need to come in or go out more. So I'm going to set this radio up and test it and make sure the tunes work and all that stuff before bolting it down for real. Now, I remember I got to put some screws here. I'm going to make sure this is level. Yeah, looks level. And I'm just going to either drill a small pilot hole or probably just take a screw and send it with my drill gun. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to set this up. I'll be back in a few. All right, we are good. Rocking some Taft Venator, I believe. I've only heard this song 13 million times over the last 30 years. Anyway, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and mock it up now with that, and then reach out for the final install. So this is good. My radio is working. I can't wait to get some off-road maps on this thing. All right, so yeah, it's a little cheap. It'll work. It doesn't snap in like the original. It just screws on with those two holes there, and there's one here in the middle somewhere where it also screws on. You know, I'll find it. So, you know, whatever. I do need to adjust this a little bit. It needs to come out on this side a little bit. Now, this is a 6.2 DIN, and it's a little bit small. I'm thinking a 6.5 DIN. I'm thinking a 6.5 DIN might work a little bit better. I am disappointed at the little sloppy flex on that. I think I might hit it with a hairdryer and see if I can't get that to bend up a little bit. But you know what? I mean, it's a Jeep. Look back here. Okay, that looks fantastic. So now I'm getting slightly excited. So let's adjust the radio and come back. All right, I wanted to show you a few things. So this is about where I think I like it. Okay, so it's mostly in. I drilled just a small pilot hole right there and put the original screw there, the 3/8 bolt, and then I put some washers behind it, because no matter how I adjust the brackets in the back, I couldn't get it how I wanted. And I found another 3/8 screw and I put it in there. I gotta dig around for one more bolt and put it into there with 4 washers. The reason why I'm doing that is either the dash is like that or it looks level slightly like that. But either way, how you saw it on there a minute ago, it looked good. So I'm gonna bevel it up slightly. And I wanted to show you also that I see these original clips here, and these should pop right off. Let's see here. Yeah, those will slide up with a little flat tip screwdriver under it. Okay, and those are actually what clip it in here and here. So we're gonna lose the ashtray holes that were previously right there. Those will be all gone. Not a big deal, because we'll be able to take those original clips and slide them back onto the backside, right under there. And I'll show you before I snap it on for good. All right, so they were here and here. I pried under each of these and it slid up. Slid on there and it clipped on pretty easily. I'm kind of disappointed that we just have flat bosses there and no way to put the middle ones on. So, and no way to put the ashtray holes on. So, I mean, whatever, at least it provides the clips for the bottom and the 2 bolts for here. Kind of Mickey Mouse, but it is what it is. So, let's try putting it on and seeing how it acts. And boom, there it is. So, it's not bad. It's certainly not perfect. You know, there's some weird imperfections here and there on the plastic. The fit was all right. Certainly this could have been built better, you know, certainly. But it's on there. You know, initially I had a little bit of fitment issues with popping the corners in. So, my problem was this. I had it angled up and it was hitting up here. And you can't really tell it's angled up a little bit. I think I need to pull 2 of the washers off and let it sit in more. But you know what? I got it. It's on there firm. So I've got everything here. I've got my Apple Maps. And I've got the music right there. You know, I'm going to download Onyx for off-road maps. That'll be cool. So it did come with one special feature. You get rid of your ashtray, which I don't mind because I can keep junk and screws in it, and they give you this storage pocket. Let's put something in my storage pocket. Oh, I don't bend so easily and I got too much gut. Let's try that again. I think we have a problem. What were they thinking? What am I supposed to do with that? I mean, it did come with a block-off plate, but those always look so stupid. I mean, maybe you could put some Velcro in there and attach your phone to it, but, I mean, you'll probably pull the whole damn plastic piece off if you try to do that, so I don't know. That's useless. Maybe I'll put the flat plate back on and we can use it for more switches. So, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. You know what? But overall, it looks good for TJ. So, certainly I'm happy with it.